What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Sunday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all of my socials, and yesterday was not a good day. It was such a bad day that the slide got deleted somehow, so I can't even put the slide up to show you the bets we got wrong. It was bad. It was a bad day, and we're just going to ignore it. We're going to move past it. We got one bet right. That's it. Was Utah. Everything else was horrible. Why didn't I listen to myself and take Oregon? Oregon plus 3.5 was the play. I took Penn State. I made a very large mistake. And it's a good lesson, right? Listen to yourself. Had a conversation with somebody. They pointed out the hook, the 3.5, and said, look at that. The books are hanging that because Penn State's live. And they were live. Look, they lost the game in overtime. But why did they lose the game? Because James Franklin coaches scared and does things like punting in a 3-3 football game when his offense had nothing going from the plus side of the field and not being aggressive. And then finally having to be aggressive in the fourth quarter. And all of a sudden you can pass on that defense by throwing deep, which why weren't you doing that all game? And then Drew Aller threw the pick that he always throws. I mean, that's what Drew Aller does. He did it in the playoffs. He can't beat. I mean, Drew Aller and James Franklin are the perfect marriage for quarterback and head coach. They both can't get it done. Sorry, Penn State, but that's it. We've seen this story before. You might get into the postseason, but that's it. Not good. Not good at all. So, am I frustrated? Yeah. So we move on. We turn the page. On to Sunday. Live stream today at 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time on the BettingPros YouTube channel. You can join myself and Andrew Erickson. I believe it's Erickson this week, stepping in to break down everything happening in the NFL. I'll give you a couple of plays, a Wong teaser. I'll give you some player props that I like. We'll go over the entire card. Get picks for Erickson, although it may be Pat Fitzmaurice. Maybe it's Pat. I think it's Pat Fitzmaurice tomorrow. Yes, I think it's Pat Fitzmaurice. So, anyways, apologies. I forget the schedule. It's late. But we'll have picks, plays, and a whole breakdown coming up at noon Eastern time on the Betting Pros YouTube channel. Join us on our YouTube channel for Week 4 of the NFL. This podcast is being brought to you by our friends at Hard Rock Bet. Now, you guys should know this by now, but Hard Rock Bet gives you so much information. You can go and place your bets. Crazy stats they like to point out for you guys entering Sunday. Josh Jacobs, 10 straight games with a touchdown against the NFC. The Chiefs, 10 straight home wins against the AFC. Keenan Allen, 58-plus receiving yards as a favorite in 7 consecutive games. The Colts, 9-game losing streak as underdogs versus the NFC. I like that trend. Jahmyr Gibbs has a touchdown in 7 straight games when the Lions are favored. The Jags have lost 8 in a row on the road against the NFC West. You can make that 9 in a row. Rachaad White scored a touchdown in 6 consecutive games as an underdog. I don't know if that hits against the Eagles. And so much info just a tap away right there inside the Hard Rock Bet app. If you haven't tried your first bet on Hard Rock Bet, there's still time. You get $150 in bonus bets if you win after placing a $5 bet. If that hits, you get your winnings plus the bonus bets. Plus on Hard Rock Bet this week, you don't just get a Sunday profit boost. You also get a Monday profit boost for tomorrow night's games. Boost your parlay so it pays extra winnings. Download the Hard Rock Bet app and make your first deposit. Payable in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida in Florida. Offered by Seminole Hard Rock Digital LLC in all other states. Must be 21 plus and physically located in Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Illinois, Indiana, New Jersey, Ohio, Tennessee, or Virginia to play. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling in Florida, call 1-888-888-ADMIT-IT. If in Indiana, if you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, New Jersey, Ohio, Tennessee, and Virginia. Okay, right out of the gate, I'm telling you right now, if you're watching this, Vikings minus 2.5. Why? Well, here's why. There's some interesting numbers and stats going into this game, and it's an international game, okay? Favorites in international games have done very, very well. In fact, 36-13-1 straight up. So against the number, 32-18. So, yeah. I like the Vikings. Why? Well, look at Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. I watched them play last week against the Patriots, and they should have lost. The 5 turnovers were, yes, caused by the Steelers, but it was a lot of the Patriots making very bad mistakes, 4 fumbles and 1 interception. I don't think Carson Wentz is going to do that. It was a 7-point win, 21-14, with 5 turnovers. That should have been a rout. It should have been a rout. I'm not buying the line that Aaron Rodgers knows the Vikings, and that's why the Steelers are going to win. I would more like to say that I think Carson Wentz under Kevin O'Connell is going to have a really good game against a defense that the Patriots had a hard time exploiting, but there were opportunities to do so. Again, 2 fumbles at the goal line for the Patriots. They scored 14 points, but they should have scored more when it comes to this. The public is all over the Vikings, and generally speaking, in the international games, it's been sort of just whatever you think is going to happen happens. We don't see many wonky things. There was always this narrative that don't bet the overseas games because who knows. Well, yeah, we kind of know. It's been pretty easy to bet the international games just by laying points. Small favorites have come in and cashed consistently. I like the defense for the Vikings. I like Carson Wentz to not make mistakes. I like this offense to be able to move the ball on the Steelers. I think they can run on the Steelers, which is going to be huge. The Steelers' run defense has not been good. The Steelers' running game themselves has been totally non-existent. The Pittsburgh Steelers are averaging a little over 2.8 yards per carry. That is second worst in the NFL. They can't run the football. Vikings have a stout defense. Brian Flores, I think, is going to have a lot of problems, a lot of things to create problems for this Pittsburgh Steelers offense. I'll lay the 2.5 points. Vikings minus 2.5 for 1.1 units. Bet number 2. Let's go to the Lions and so we're going to put that up. Vikings minus 2.5. Lions and the Browns. Well, the Lions are playing on a short week after taking on the Ravens on Monday Night Football. And this stat from the Action Network is interesting. Teams on a short week facing a team not on short rest who open as a double-digit favorite, which the Lions did, are 2-7 ATS. 2-7 ATS, dating back to 2020. That's not great. So, will the Browns be able to hang around here in this game? Yes, I think that they will. But I think they score. I think Dan Campbell scores. I think the Lions scored. I think Jared Goff, who's back at home in the Dome, has been completely dominant when he has been playing at home. He's 42-18-1 against the number playing indoors. Okay, that's tremendous. I just think the Browns are going to stop the run, and then the passing attack gets going here for the Lions. And I think big numbers. Jared Goff throws for a lot. I think that they pick up, I'm surprised at this number being 44.5. It's a really low total. This is the Lions. It's very hard for me to believe the Lions aren't going to score 28 points. And then how many points are we going to get out of the Browns? I think the Browns are going to score. The Browns have lost 6 straight games against the number on the road, and they've lost 9 straight road games outright. Are they due? Yeah. They haven't won consecutive road games since December of 2020. The Browns don't play well on the road. The Browns are coming off of a win in which they knocked out 2 of my survivor entries in the Packers. So maybe you're getting to sell on them high here and by laying the points with the Lions, but I'm just not interested in going near the spread here. It's too large for a division game. So let's talk about the total. Over 44.5 at minus 110. Bet number 2 for us, or number 3 for us, here in just 1 second. But have you guys gone and downloaded the BettingPros app yet? Now, new features. Some pretty cool things are available on that. You can go and use Sportsbook Sync, which automatically tracks your bets across all major sportsbooks in one spot. You can easily monitor your bet performance by sport and bet type, including game picks, props, and parlays. Create custom betting systems to find winning trends and profitable opportunities. Special offer for BettingPros Premium, 6 months for free if you make a deposit at a partner sportsbook. To claim the offer, just go over to bettingpros.com/premium. Make that deposit at a partner sportsbook, place your wager, and you get 6 months of BettingPros Premium for free. All right, let's go to the Rams against the Colts. I am not a believer in the Colts, okay? I'm just not. You can tell me I'm crazy, and you can say that this Colts team is tremendous, but the Rams had a 19-point lead against the Eagles and blew it. You don't think they're going to be ticked off? They're going to be furious. I mean, absolutely furious. So, it's a historic loss. How about this? Teams that led by 19 points or more, who were plus 3.5 dogs or higher, were 185-5 against the number over the last 20 years. And they lost. The Rams did. And they didn't cover, which is ridiculous. I think the Rams' defense is the difference here. I think Daniel Jones comes back down to earth. I think it's Sean McVay. I think it's Matthew Stafford. I think they're playing at home. When they're favored at home, they're 32-9 straight up. That's tremendous. Okay? The Colts are undefeated. They're a dog. There's a reason why they're a dog. Daniel Jones has faced Sean McVay twice in his career, and when he was with the Giants, they scored a grand total of 20 points in both of those games. Daniel Jones is good indoors, okay? He is, dome technically in L.A., but I just think this is when Shane Steichen and company, this is when you're traveling across the country. Everyone expects the Colts to win this game. I'm taking the Rams. If I could get 3, I would lay it, but 3.5 even money, I'm okay with it. I just think this is going to be, the Rams have been pretty good in these spots under Sean McVay. It's Sean McVay, it's Matthew Stafford, it's the Rams at home, it's the Rams defense, and I think the surprise is gone for Daniel Jones. He's been the number 1 quarterback in the NFL on paper so far. I don't believe that continues here today. I'll lay the 3.5 begrudgingly. I'd rather lay 3, okay? But I'm not buying points because of what happened yesterday. I'm not interested in laying more juice than I have to. So Rams minus 3.5 at even money. Hopefully just a 4-point win for us here with that. And the teaser of the day. There will be another one. I'll give you a Wong teaser coming up here because there's a lot of opportunities for Wong teasers that we should have one for you that fits the formula during the live stream today. But the Patriots against the Carolina Panthers, 5.5, okay, or 6. Look, the Patriots are at home. The Panthers are awful on the road, and maybe they cover, okay? Maybe they cover. But the Patriots are a team at home where I think this is where Mike Vrabel and company gets after it. It's a get-right spot. With the Patriots and the Titans, Mike Vrabel is 28-11 straight up with teams under 500, okay? Patriots' pass defense is going to get Christian Gonzalez back, which is big. I don't like what Bryce Young has done. I mean, Bryce Young... Not good. 7 total games in the NFL as a starter. He's a guy, when he's facing struggling pass defenses, he's 0-7 straight up. This is a get-right spot for teams defensively. Bryce Young, not good. Has started 15 games total in his career on the road. He's 1-14 straight up in those road games, 5-10 against the number. Yes, they did cover against Carolina in week 2, but against non-divisional opponents in his career, Bryce Young is 0-9 straight up. Patriots tease down to plus a half a point, just win the game, okay? Pull it down, win the game for the Patriots. Don't worry about the number, just tease it. And combine that with Justin Herbert and the Chargers against a rookie quarterback in Jackson Dart. and the Giants. All right. Look, Herbert has been great in the first half on the road. 28-14 against the number in the first half. That's tremendous. Over the last 20 years, only Lamar Jackson has a better first half ATS record than Justin Herbert. So I'll be on the first half with the Chargers here. But for the game, I'm pulling it down and teasing it because Justin Herbert is facing a defense that I think he'll be able to put up points against. But more importantly, Jackson Dart is going up against Jim Harbaugh and a Jim Harbaugh coach defense. Like, the guy in September is 14-6-2 against the number as a head coach in the NFL, and he's going to feast on this. Like, he's going to feast on this. The last time the Giants beat the Chargers was in 1998. That was the last time the Giants beat the Chargers. It's been a long time. Brian Daboll, this is his excuse. Go ahead and start the rookie. Get it out of the way. Look, I think they cover the 6.5. I don't think the Chargers are going to need this, but I just think it's an opportunity just to pull it down here. They're playing Jackson Dart the rest of the year. Fading rookies making their first start has been a very profitable thing in the NFL, home or road. Chargers come in with a defense and an offense, and Herbert doesn't mind playing on the Eastern time zone. He's 20-10 against the number in the Eastern time zone or the Central time zone. Jared Goff and Joe Burrow are the only two quarterbacks who have a better record against the spread in the Eastern time zone than Justin Herbert. 13-5 in all games played in the Eastern time zone. This game's in the Eastern time zone. Tease it down. Chargers minus half a point. Tease with the Patriots for them catching a half a point for a two-leg, six-point teaser for us, Patriots-Chargers. So, plays for Sunday. More of these will come. I'll give you some other options to play. It won't count for the Daily Juice record, but I'll give you some other things you can bet that I have bet for Sunday if you're interested on the live stream at noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific. Vikings laying 2.5 in Ireland early in the morning. Browns-Lions over 44.5. Rams laying 3.5 at home against the Colts. Patriots and the Chargers, 6-point teaser. Patriots against the Panthers and the Chargers up against the New York Giants. Let's hope for a bounce-back Sunday after a really rough Saturday. We'll need to probably sweep. We probably need to go 4-0. And I think we still might have a losing week. Even if we sweep, I think we still might have a losing week. But we'll do the math on Monday. The benefit, though, is we get to count all of our baseball futures for this week. So we get to put that into the record. So that will help. 4-1 on our baseball futures that will cash coming up here on Sunday. Today, the final day of the regular season. We'll count it all up on Monday before we get into the 2 Monday Night Football games coming up tomorrow. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me across all of my socials at Sports Talk Matt every morning, wherever you guys get your podcasts. It is the Daily Juice.